Well, it's April 11. My chickens were born yesterday in Polk, Ohio at Meyer Hatchery. It is a little after 9 o'clock and the local post office just called and said, "You have chickens." So I'm going to run to town. Apparently they sent me a few extra. I ordered 125, and it must be for every 25 you order, they send you a spare. So I've got 130 birds, and I think I'm ready. Pretty sure I'm ready. I'll get the birds, and then I'll show you my setup. 130 birds in the back seat of a truck. That won't ever happen again. You can hear them cheeping back there. It is amazing that they can all fit in that little box. I mean, there's 2 boxes, but I tell you what, it is warm in here. I've got the heat cranked up so they can kind of get used to being warm again. I'm sure they weren't 90 on the way here. You can hear them being all cheep, 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 cheepy. Pretty soon they're going to be yum, yum, yummy in my tummy. Waterers are already an issue. We've had 2 birds of 131 already in it. See, just like that. And that can be a problem. We gotta fix that. Well, I'm not so sure if this is the best waterer. They can get out of it, that's good. But I ended up putting some pebbles underneath that filter to raise it up so the depth is not as high. And then I kind of mounded up the wood chips so at least they have an approach and a departure, because they couldn't reach the water from standing on the wood chips. So I can't blame them for wanting to get in, but that definitely does not help them regulate their temperature, which is a bad thing. As for their current enclosure, this is a queen bed wooden raised frame that I extended to about 7.5 feet by 8 feet. And then I enclosed it with Lexan. That's all the way to the floor. We are inside a greenhouse, so that way if critters do happen to get in here, I don't believe they can climb this about 3.5 foot wall. There are 2 heat lamps, and they are controlled by a thermostat. The sensor is right about where all them chickens are running, underneath the wood chips. And I'm hoping that the wood chips can kind of soak in some of this sun heat. And so far, there's no chickens underneath the lamps, which is a good thing. They're all spread out doing their happy dance, and I'm okay with that. It's on a thermostat control called the Inkbird. I think it's an ITC 308. And I just brought the setting, I think, down to 82 degrees. I'm going to just kind of keep regulating them and see what happens. I kind of figured this would happen, and it might take a few clean outs, and eventually they'll get big enough that they won't be able to climb in. But this is a 4-inch tee. That's a 3-inch tee with some 45s, and that's another 4-inch. And it can probably hold at least 3 days of food, maybe 5 days of food right now, maybe more. I don't know. We'll keep monitoring that. I have two 16-inch vent fans on the north wall and a 32-inch fresh air vent on the south wall. Most of the weather that comes, or the wind, comes from the south, so all my fresh air can kind of pass through when that's open. I've got this other sensor here, and it is controlling the temperature of air inside the greenhouse. So when that hits its desired temperature, which is currently 90, and I might bring that down a little bit based on the birds. When it hits that temperature, which it's 79.7 right now, it will open up and cool down about 3 degrees at a time. I haven't really showed a whole lot of this greenhouse because I'm still trying to figure it out. It's very easy to get over temp and just burn everything in it. It's very easy to let temps fall too much and then it just doesn't make any sense to have. So that's that. So far it makes for 131 happy chickens. I had a dream a couple nights ago that these chickens got cold and I put them in the microwave to warm them back up. So I'm trying to make sure that I don't cook them in here. That's going to be an important thing to not do, because 131 little chicken wings probably won't taste as good as 131 freezer chickens. So if I didn't mention, these are from Meyer Hatchery. These are, what did they call them? Fry pan bargain chickens. They are all just roosters, and they are random breeds, as you can tell. There's a lot of browns and blacks. And I really don't know what they are other than roosters. They're not actually like broiler chickens. So these will take a little while longer. That's kind of why I want to pasture them in the chicken tractor, so I don't have as much cost of food. And there's all kinds of hatcheries that mail out chickens via the U.S. Post Office, and it's normal to get a phone call and say, hey, we got some chickens for you. This is not like I'm the only person ever. But I had a package to mail out today, and I walked in kind of with my ears clapped, like I can hear my birds. And she's talking to me, the lady at the desk, and I handed her the package, and she asked if I need a receipt. And we're just talking about chickens. Oh, they're white and black, and they're so cute. And I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty excited about them. And she's like, oh, they're yours? So she gave them to me and said, there you go, have a nice day. Man, I got to get them out of that water. They might be trying to cool off. I don't know. They're not as dumb as you might think. They've got a lot of instincts, and they know a lot of things. We have found one that was kind of walking funny. We picked it up and looked at it. At first I thought maybe it was just popping out a poop, and it did, but it was still walking funny, and I think it's got a broken foot. we're going to keep an eye on it. You can see that foot's kind of crooked. And, you know, unfortunately, that's part of farm life, is that some don't always make it. So, we'll see.